Life has a way of shifting beneath our feet when we least expect it. One day we wake up, and the familiar landscape of our world has changed completely. Maybe it's a job that disappeared overnight, a relationship that ended, a diagnosis that rewrote your future, or a move to a place where nothing feels like home. Perhaps it's the children growing up and leaving, or a loved one who is no longer there to call. Change can feel like standing on sand that keeps washing away, leaving us grasping for something, anything, that feels solid and sure. When everything familiar seems to be slipping through our fingers, when the ground beneath us feels unsteady and uncertain, there is an ancient promise that speaks directly to this very human fear. Listen to these words from Psalm 46, verses 1 and 2. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea. Refuge. The word itself feels like shelter, doesn't it? In ancient times, a refuge was a place of safety, a fortress where people could run when enemies approached. But this psalm speaks of something even more reliable than stone walls or mountain fortresses. It speaks of God as our refuge, not a place we have to find, but a presence that finds us. Notice how the psalmist doesn't promise that the earth won't be removed or that mountains won't shake. Instead, he acknowledges that these overwhelming changes do happen. The ground does shift. The mountains do move. Life does turn upside down. But in the middle of that very real instability, there is something that doesn't move. Someone who doesn't change. When your world feels like it's crumbling, when the familiar landmarks of your life have disappeared, when you can't find your footing, that's exactly when this promise becomes most precious. You don't have to be strong enough to weather the storm. You don't have to figure out how to rebuild what's been shaken. You simply need to remember that in the midst of all that changes, there is one who remains constant. Think about that phrase, a very present help in trouble. Not a distant help, not a help that might come someday. A very present help. Right here, right now, in this moment when everything feels uncertain. Whether you're facing the end of a marriage, the loss of a job, a health crisis that's changed everything, or simply the accumulated weight of too many changes happening too fast, you are not facing it alone. There is a refuge that cannot be shaken, a strength that doesn't depend on your circumstances remaining stable. When the psalmist says, "Therefore will not we fear," he's not denying that scary things happen. He's saying that in the face of even the most overwhelming change, even if the very earth were removed from beneath our feet, there is a reason not to be afraid. Not because change isn't hard, but because in the middle of change, there is something unchanging. Friend, if you're in a season where everything feels unstable, where change has swept through your life like a storm, remember this. You are held by hands that do not tremble. You are sheltered by love that does not change. The ground beneath your circumstances may shift, but the ground beneath your soul remains solid. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be strong enough for what's ahead. You just need to remember that you have a refuge, a very present help, right here, right now. If these words brought even a moment of peace to your heart, would you subscribe for daily reminders of God's unchanging promises? Sometimes we all need gentle reminders that we are held, especially when life feels unsteady. Until we meet again, may you rest in the knowledge that no matter what changes around you, you are safe in the arms of the one who never changes.